Hey, and today I'm going to show you how to make this spooky boo Halloween sign. It's got bats in the night sky with stars peeking through into the night time, and I'm going to show you how to make it, and it's really, really easy. Hi, I'm Sarah. This is Extraordinary Chaos, and I'm the craft and designer behind this channel, and today we are going to make this spooky boo Halloween layered word using my Halloween spooky bat alphabet and number set. So this is a really cute alphabet and number set. I'm going to give you the top layer of each letter to download. We're going to upload it to Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to show you how to make it into one complete word. And you can see how we've built the word overlapping the letters but without creating lines. So we've sliced out areas to make sure that the letters connect together really well. Then we're going to make it into a layered file, and we're going to make a starry sky layer. This is a really great file to use for scrapbooking layouts, for Halloween signs, for porch signs. This would look great if you hung it so that you could laminate it and hang it on strings or ribbons or some little rope and hang in the window. There's so much you can do with this. You could also use the top layer and use it with vinyl for a Halloween t-shirt. So the great thing about this is you can make any word because you've got the full alphabet and number set available for you to use for free. So just head over to the shop. I'll drop the link to the alphabet below. I use with mine, so the top layer is glitter cardstock. So I used black glitter cardstock, and I used white glitter for the clouds in the sky. Then I used a plain blue cardstock and a yellow cardstock for the moon and the star layers. So it's 5 layers because I've got a moon, and then the back layer is also yellow where we've got the stars peeking through. Okay, so let's hop over to Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to show you how it's done. We'll start by uploading our letter. So I'm going to make the word boo, but you can make any word you want. And once you have uploaded those to Cricut Design Space, they will come in quite large, so you'll have to make them smaller. And Cricut Design Space will tell you that they're too big. Ignore that. It's too big to cut on a 12 by 12 mat, but you're going to drag it smaller. So just select all and drag it smaller, and then that will give you the size that you want to work with. So just keep dragging till you get the right size, and get rid of that sidebar so that that's not distracting you. Now I'm going to duplicate the O because I only uploaded one, and then I'm going to start positioning my file. So what you've got to do is decide what your prominent letter is going to be in your word. So I want the B to be at the front so that the O sits behind it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate those. Then I'm going to remove all the contours in my existing layer, and I want to slice the B out of the O so that I can then pop it back in. Now this isn't allowing me to slice, so there's a problem. So I'm going to click on the O, and if you look, it looks like it's a connected word. So when that's come back from design, there must be some tiny bit. There it is. So there's like a little flick of an O. So just close your eye on that. If you ever have that problem, just check, because if it's grouped, it means it's attached to something. And that's just an anomaly that's there. So just get rid of that. And then when we go back, select all and slice, that will then work. And there you go, it does. So move that out of the way. We're going to delete all the excess and then bring back the original letter B. And all we're going to do is we're going to slide that in. So slide it in there. You want to make sure, if you look at the bottom of the O, it was overlapping. So make sure there's no overlapping, but it has to be all touching at the same time. It's got to be connected. So then right click and weld. What we're going to do now is we're going to check that. So we're going to go to the bottom where it says background color and click on grey. And now I'm going to turn the file white, because if it's white, just for a minute, you can see if there's any breaks. And what I want is everything to be joined, and that's all joined perfectly. So I can turn it back black now. But that just really helps you see, because if you've got a break, it won't cut properly. So now we're going to do the next layer, and we're going to decide again which layer we want to sit over the top and which one we want to sit behind. So I think it's going to be the individual O, because that's got the bat on it. So I'm going to duplicate that. Then I'm going to go to my contour tool, and I'm going to hide the contours on this image. So I'm just going to, there you go, hide all contours, and slice that out, and then we can move that away, get rid of all the excess, and then we're going to pull the duplicated letter back in and position it. And again, you've got to make sure that everything's touching but nothing's overlapping, so that it all cuts seamlessly. And once you're happy, you can then select all and click weld. Once you've welded that together, you've now got your top layer. Now, if you want to use that for a t-shirt or a single layered file, then you've got that there ready. I'm just turning it white to check and everything's okay. And then what I'm going to do now is add a very tiny offset just because I want it a little bit chunkier. And that's a great thing with these letters. You've got the choice that you can cut them thinner, but I do like my cuts a little bit chunkier, especially if you're going to use sticky pads to put them together, although I will use glue with this layer. So I'm going to keep the offset layer, just turn that black because visually I find it easier. And now we're going to create some layers. So duplicate this layer. I'm going to keep my top layer black because I'm cutting that in glitter cardstock. And then this second layer, I'm going to start removing the contours. So we're going to remove the contours of the clouds. Now, I really don't like the contour tool at the moment. It's really a bit glitchy. As soon as you scroll over it, it highlights areas, but you've just got to concentrate on getting rid of the areas you want. And I want to get rid of the clouds. So there's, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 clouds that I want to get rid of. I don't want to get rid of any other areas. So yeah, it takes a bit of getting used to the way this is at the moment, but I'm sure it will change again. And once I get rid of that, you can see that there you go. I've removed my cloud successfully. So now I'm going to duplicate this layer. And when you're creating layers, it's always important to duplicate the layer you've just contoured. I'm going to change that to white because that's going to be the colour of my clouds. And then next we're going to, on this layer that I've just duplicated, we're going to get rid of the moons. So we're going to go back to the contour tool and battle through getting rid of the moons. And once we have done that, so I'll just close that box there, and there you go, that's all done. So I can duplicate that layer, move one of the layers up to the top with all my other layers and drag that to the back, and I'm going to turn that yellow, and it's starting to take shape now. Now what we're going to do, I'm just going to align them up, and you can see it's starting to look really good now. So what we now need to do is we've got the two back layers. So I'm going to hide all contours, and then I'm going to open up the middles of the letters because you don't want to get rid of those contours. And you'll be left with a solid back layer but with the middles open. So what I'm going to do first of all is just put it in position and have a look. So we're going to have two more layers. We're going to have the night sky, and then we're going to have the stars peeking through, which will obviously again be yellow. So I'm going to drag that to the back, and I'm going to turn that dark blue. And I'm going to cut that on a dark blue cardstock. And now what we're going to do is we're going to grab a star because we need to put the stars in the right position. You don't want to just put a load of stars on and they'd be sticking out in the wrong places. So I'm going to get a star from the shapes bar. Just close that again, and I'm just going to drag that to the bottom because we want quite a few. So I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to create a few different versions so that you've got 3 stars, but they're all in slightly different directions. And you can see that I'm just typing random numbers or clicking on the arrow in the rotate tool just to make sure that they're all in different directions. So I've got 4. What I'm going to do now is just start to position them, but I really need to duplicate them too. So that wants to be a little bit bigger. Drag that over there. So select all there, and I'm going to duplicate them a few times just so I've got a few there. And then you can see that I'm just dragging them in so that they're in positions where they look right. You can drag them bigger or smaller if you want. You don't want them too small because obviously you've got to cut them out. And you can add as many as you want. And you can see now why it's got to be quite strategic. They've got to be in positions where you can see them and they look right. So once I've got that all done, got 1 left there. You can add more if you need to. I'm just going to pop that up there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all of the other layers out, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to weld those together. So that's created 1 layer. Then I'm going to just pop 2 layers back in just so that I can see that the stars are positioned right. They're just not right. So I'm going to drag that about there, and you can see now they're positioned more or less in the right place. Then I'm going to take the white layer out of the way because I need to slice the stars out of the black blue layer. So right click, select and slice. And there you go. What I should have done here is I should have actually duplicated my back layer, but I haven't. So I'm going to duplicate that now. Go back in and I'm going to remove all the contours and again open up the middle contours to create the back layer. And this I'm going to turn yellow. And when you pop that over there, there you go. You can see your stars and they're in the right place. So now we can just drag all the other layers over. For some reason my layers have scrambled. I'm going to drag them into position. That's going to be, no, that needs to be my second layer, so I'll drag that down. And then the moon is not playing ball at all there, is it? I don't know if I'm dragging the wrong layer. Let's click that and drag that up. There you go. Click on, that's the back, so that's right. Not that it really matters, but I just like to see it before it cuts. So all we've got to do now is pop in the yellow layer, which is going to go behind the white layer. And that will go there. Drag that in, right click, just click on the align tool and center it all up. Again, this is just more for me to make sure that they're all exactly the same size. And I really love how that's turned out. I can't remember, it reminds me of a book cover of a child's book. I can't think which one. And there we go, we are now cutting out. So we've started to cut out. I am cutting a variety of layers. So I've got some on glitter cardstock. I've got the white and the black are glitter, and the yellow and the blue are normal cardstock. So we're going to cut out. This will take quite some time. I'm using a green cutting mat as always, because I find that especially with more intricate cuts, it just cuts much better if your cardstock is well stuck down to the cutting mat. Okay, so I will see you at the other end ready to build the files. And here are our files all cut out. We've got one left on the mat, so I thought I'll just show you how I reverse weed that. So it just peels off when you reverse weed. This is an older mat, but I still maintain that working with a green mat, they just last so much longer. And here we've got our layers. Right, so I'm going to use glue to put these together today. So what I'm going to do first of all is arrange them in order. And once I've got all my layers where they should be, it's just about grabbing them all together and making sure that you get them the right way, because if you get them wrong and stick them together, then the glue is in the wrong place. So now I can start to work backwards, forwards. And I'm going to just fast forward this a little bit. So I'm going to start on the blue layer and I'm going to put the glue on the back of the blue layer. And I'm going to use glue rather than sticky pads on this one. Although in hindsight, it would have looked really good with sticky pads. And then I'm going to pick it up with my hook, flip it over and pop that into position. And these files are really easy to build up. So what's really important to remember is you always work on the back of the next layer, not the top of the layer before, because if you go on the top and I put some glue, I don't know, say there, then when I flip it over it's going to show. So when you go in on the back, you're placing the glue exactly where you want to place it. And there is something really satisfying about building these files. I found it really relaxing. So we're just going to go around, go all of the edges, just a fine bit on each edge so that every area is got a little bit of glue, so when we put it on it's going to adhere really easily. And if you just pick it up, you can gently drag it into position. So this glue is a clear drying glue. But I still want to wipe it out of the way anyway. And I love how creating these starry sky layers, I mean, you can do that on anything. It's so easy to do, just slicing the stars out. And it's just about remembering to slice your stars out of areas that won't affect the rest of the cut. That's the important thing. Because you don't want to see half a star. It just doesn't look well finished then. So now we're working on our white cloud layer. So we're just going to, again, I've just fast forwarded this while I apply my glue all around the edges. And you can see actually how fine some of these layers are now. So if you wanted to use sticky pads, you might need to add a bit more of an offset or cut the sticky pads in half. And look how lovely that looks. I always use usually white as my top layer, but we've got Halloween bats, so they have to, or should, be black, and it is a Halloween file, so I can't make everything pretty. Although I do love the look, the finished look of having the black top layer. It does make it very cartoony. So we'll just finish popping the glue on here, and then we can apply our final layer to the file. Just wipe off any excess there. And I love how this glue, it's the Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue. You can just slide it about so you get it in exactly the right position. So with these Printassa pens, I have just remembered, you can flip them. And then you can get a finer tip. And then I can give my bats little yellow eyes. And even though there are bat size in the individual letters cut, they're so tiny that when you start to cut them in and remove contours, they disappear. But this is just a really good option to add them. And there you go, that's just tipping, flipping it over. Obviously my table is now covered, that wasn't intended. And there you go, it's almost got a cartoon edge to it because it's got the black line as well. I love that. And how did you find that? Have you managed to get a word? And what word did you make? Because you've got the whole alphabet and number set, so you can make anything. I really, really hope this was useful. It's amazing how once you know how to connect letters together, you can use any alphabet to do this. And what I love about the new set of alphabets that we're currently creating, myself and my amazing assistant Alicia, is that because they're the open letters and they're the large letters, like this, they're perfect for creating words so that you can make cake toppers, words, numbers, anything. They're really, really easy to use rather than my old style of letter, which lends itself more for scrapbooking and cards. So this is just giving you more options. I hope you found that useful. Please do let me know in the comments how you got on. Tell me any alphabets you'd like to see because we're always looking for new ideas. We've got so many different Halloween projects. Plus, over on the website, we have got tons of Halloween alphabets, printable and SVG. So keep an eye out for those. Thank you so much for crafting along with us, and I will see you next time. Happy crafting.